ISUPK.
We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men prepare to die. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Never let their brothers fly. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men prepare to die. Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Pay back in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. And I been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft. Better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. Behind me say I cup full. No room for emotion. So I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head. And I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing. Gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she so beautiful. But they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about the shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and Johanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time. This Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Should call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame, duplicate. Loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. Them devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame, duplicate. Loyal to the king.
have found a new breed of Hebrews that stand and walk with the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And we don't care who we got to come up against. You ain't standing before this truth. You understand? We done took them all on and gonna continue to take them all on.
Surrounded by Edomites, lost a lot of truth to this tree of life. Open up the book just to see I'm right. Reminiscing on my ancestors, on those ships who had to plead for life. Took us to a place where ain't never safe there. Poisoning our foods and put our children up in daycare. Fresh out of slavery, still thinking that they care. Guns in the community, children can't play there. Brothers still brainwashed, we died for that same cost. Took away our history, believing that we ain't lost. Brother, I'm an Israelite, sin is like kryptonite. Brothers won't pray, no, they'd rather link a chick tonight. Praises to the Most High, I ain't like most guys. Eyes on the future, but I learned from a boat ride. Tribe of Benjamin, inherited on both sides. Background Jamaican, mistreated and I know why. I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites. I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites.
Kwam Yashra Allah, sons of the power. Rise from the ghetto when Satan want us devoured. The seal of the Lord ain't found in church towers. Never dying on my knees like no coward. Wanna be an Israelite, you gon' need more than fringes. You gon' need to show you approve and get in them scriptures. Oh, I forgot to mention, traumatized from the lynching. Homicide, we the victim. Homicide ain't the ending. Kids with PTSD, suffering symptoms, never getting treatment. Something he gotta sleep with. Stockholm syndrome so long that it ain't a secret. That's why I die for them brothers I'm facing east with. Cause I'm an Israelite. Crackers better get it right. Visions of my enemies, death flow through my dreams at night. And if your mind ain't there, then we don't dream alike. Reporting live from hell, home of Christians and Edomites.
I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites. I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites.
While they play the sidelines, comfortable on benches. Catch me on the front lines, putting work in trenches. Making sure our election, preparing for Armageddon. Mastering this profession of prophesying these lessons. Protecting our adolescents and answering all their questions. Teaching the love, they reflection. No matter what the complexion, we got a common connection. A part of God's hand selection. A shot at the resurrection, through us achieving perfection. But to give life takes sacrifice. Battle demons every fight. Short days and long nights. Less sleep and more fights. More wisdom, more strife. Telling everybody that they wrong and you're right. I'm an Israelite, blood of an Israelite. I ride for my Israelites and die for my Israelites. We owe a debt cause Christ paid the price. So who ready to give their life the life of an Israelite?
I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites. I'm an Israelite, die for my Israelites. Blood of the Israelites, cry for my Israelites. Going through it cause we're Israelites. Kwam Yashra Allah to all my Israelites.
Like that and we do it like this. We do it like that and we do it like this. Yeah.
Swing low, Lord, get me out this plantation. I ain't on the block no more, no grams weighing. I don't even bed no hoes, my ribs stay in. Try to keep them humble and never run in the streets. My kids speaking Hebrew, so you know that I teach. It's hard, gotta hold on, trying to keep up the peace. I'm waiting on your son to return and cut off the beast. Till then, I'ma be in war mode and face east. I know I don't deserve a second chance, but I take it. That's why I don't sell dimes no more, and I don't blaze it. Satan still want me back, he gotta face it. Smoke don't touch these lungs, I'm feeling strong again. Lost a couple LBs, even started to jog again. I get suited up now and I ain't talking about cardigans. Boots laced up in gear, ready for battle. The enemy is listening, Lord, but I ain't rattled. You made a nigga feel it, some niggas scared of their shadow. I'm seeing lost niggas in these groups on the tube. You could've put me with them, guess that's mercy from you. You put me front of Jenna, you're hiding, I can't lose. He took a drug dealer that probably should make the news and turned him to a prophet. My family is still confused. It seems they like the old me best. Sorry to say, I ain't gotta drop a old me left. So I pray that the slave master see death every day. I hear the bell toll and hope I'm the one chosen. And when that chariot swing low, low, let me roll in.
We're doing this for Yahweh and Yahushua. Go to war for our people like Mordecai. I'm sorry for my sins and I deserve to die, but please swing low, sweet chariot, cause I wanna ride. Every day is a struggle just to stay alive. It's dark and hell is hot and I don't wanna feel the fire. I'm sorry for my sins and I deserve to die, but please swing low, sweet chariot, cause I wanna ride. Well, come on, come on, come on. Won't you please swing low, sweet chariot? Won't you please swing low, sweet chariot? What you know about sacrifice? Nothing, they bluffing. These niggas perpetrators, man of God, the shit is disgusting. I put my time in, while they ain't even applying. Through all the pain, hate, confusion, and the lying, I stay grinding, with the heart of a lion. The strong through the storm, till I found that silver lining. Without no pressure, there's no diamonds. I walk straight into the furnace of affliction for refining. Came a long way to stash the pills when I heard the sirens. Getting higher, hold up, moment of silence. Just a moment, y'all. Yeah, cause that man is dead and deceased. Gained knowledge, found peace, shook the mark of the beast. Only fear God and not another man who bleeds. And if you roll with me, you already know my skis. I come through, give a death, they holler, what up, priest? Then I quick to chop a Christian with ease. Then I go and put the sword back in his sheath. I got one life to live, so I'm playing for keeps. So I be dropping shit like the towers. All my haters sour, you ain't no cowards. Niggas swear they hard, but acting like they own they flower. You old bitch ass nigga, I'll fuck your ass up. Hold up, let me regain my composure. I keep the calm to the beat of a composer. The end is near and I can feel it getting closer. Praying to the Lord that the angels be my chauffeur. We're doing this for Yahweh and Yahushua. Go to war for our people like Mordecai. I'm sorry for my sins and I deserve to die, but please swing low, sweet chariot, cause I wanna ride. Every day is a struggle just to stay alive. It's dark and hell is hot and I don't wanna feel the fire. I'm sorry for my sins and I deserve to die, but please swing low, sweet chariot, cause I wanna ride. Well, come on, come on, come on. Won't you please swing low, sweet chariot? Won't you please swing low, sweet chariot?
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Nah, this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type.
shook from vicious words out this handed book. About to take these rappers back to school. My flow sanded hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. You became no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey check. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in a bench, I see hordes in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote with him to free me. No, they beat us till we. They call him purple, that's why this knife to they throat like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she please as I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you, man. I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. Go in and fill the world with lies. Ain't die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. That's right. I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Tell them devils that the end is still. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back!
Yeah.
Give me the Q win, priest. Yeah. My name is Captain LeBon. I represent the Israelite School of UPK and the Commander General Yohana here in the city of Detroit. Of course, everybody out there should know by now, man, that the Israelite School of UPK, man, we working miracles all over the goddamn globe right now, man. We started in 1969 out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, man, where 7 men took on a tremendous task of waking up the dead in Israel, where 7 men decided to sacrifice their self, sacrifice their reputation, sacrifice everything that they had learned in the world in order to denounce it and take up the banner of Christ here in America, man. And because of the sacrifice of them 7 Judites, man, that went out there on those streets, one of them ultimately was beat to death, all right? Because of their great sacrifice, man, I'm here today in the city of Detroit in 2019, man, to give you the understanding that them brothers insisted that the nation be without, all right? Because of the hard work and dedication of Commander General Yohana, this truth lives on today in virtually every city in America, man. Big ups to Commander General Yohana and the generals and captains that he has raised up in this earth, man, that continue this monumental task of waking up the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. Again, I'm Captain LeBon. I represent those mighty men that came before me here in the city of Detroit, and second in the command under Captain Marwa Quad here in the Midwest region. All right, today we're going to break down a couple of scriptures and give some understanding on, how blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, come to, I want to say, how blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come to be as they are, absent this truth in the earth. All right, but first I'd like to, of course, take any questions out there in the audience. If you have any questions out there, man, in the broader regions of the country, all right, in abroad, you can give us a call at, what's that call-in number, Kudash Kabar? You can give us a call at 720-835-5555. Again, 720-835-5555. You can call right now. And the PIN number again is what? 55345. 55345 is the PIN number. If you got any questions, actually you can, if you want to call in and ask that question live, if you don't want to do that, you can elect to type in a question in the comment section on Facebook, and we will definitely, if we can, answer your question. All right. First, sis, brother, you got any questions? Any scripture questions, man? Let me hear them right now. What you got? Let's get it on, y'all. You got a question? Go ahead, priest.
So Salakia, like you cannot be unclean on a holy holiday, right?
Come.
So we got holidays that last 8 days straight. So do that mean you can't be unclean none of those days? Like you can't have sex or something on none of them 8 days on any of the holy holidays? Okay, so
if you're asking, like, if you say for instance you're on your way to, you have camp, within 24 hours, then it's a custom. Well, not a custom, it's a law that you shouldn't copulate with your woman, right, and then come to camp or be in the school. You know what I'm saying? With that uncleanness, in your system. That is definitely a law. Con. So like on a Sabbath day, on a day that we go out there to camp, if you've been with your woman within 24 hours, then you shouldn't.
Turn another one.
Then and you're in the midst of a holy convocation, then you'll be excluded from participating in it. Still no volume? You can hear me? I can't hear myself. Okay, there we go. Most High in Christ. Yeah, so again, if we're in the midst of a holy convocation and someone does something that's unclean, then they will be excluded from that. They will be forbidden according to the law. Matter of fact, let's get that. Find it in the scripture. Let's bring it out real quick. So actually no, this is good enough right here. If anybody needs the scripture, then we'll post them online. If you need them, we'll go over that afterwards. But to answer your question, definitely not. If we're in the midst of a holy convocation and your overwhelming desires to copulate with your woman, then you would be forbidden.
Testing. Okay. So your question again, sister, is what? That's correct. If the sister is on her flower, she's forbidden from attending any high holy day services. You got those precepts for me, Zarak?
We're going to go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 15. Verse 19. Leviticus chapter 15 and 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood,
Meaning what? If a woman has an issue and that issue in her flesh be blood. Go ahead.
she shall be put apart.
Okay, so listen to what it says. If the issue is with blood, meaning if you have in your flower, right? Or if you're having a thing that causes you to bleed. Because some women, have sporadic problems. Some women have, issues where they have to have, certain surgeries, etc. And because of that surgery, they have an issue with blood. And if that be the case, Hebrew.
Kind of kind. And if Salaki, and she shall be put apart.
She should be what?
She shall be put apart 7 days.
The scripture says she shall be put apart 7 days, right? Meaning this right here. You start bleeding Monday, you're not cleaning until after sundown Sunday. Slakia. If you start bleeding Sunday, you're not clean until sundown Saturday. So Sunday the following week you clean. So you'd be set apart. You wouldn't be allowed to, participate in any high holy days or Sabbath service for those 7 days. All right. Any other question?
So,
Go ahead, priest.
Just to clarify it, so like when you got a holy holiday like the Passover or the feet, the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. Right. Kind of.
Count on one kind. We're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening.
So 7 days. 7 days that sister shall be set apart, man, from attending any high holy day services for 7 full days. All right. You good on that? Do you have another question? Rock, you have something you want to add to that?
Kind of one kind. So
Go ahead,
that's
bro.
the same thing. Like most of the high holy days, we got is 8 days straight. So if you start off on the first holiday day of the holy holiday clean, you might as well just hold off on all of the other stuff that would make you unclean as far as sex until you finish celebrating the holy holiday, right?
Read it one more time, please. Remember it said 24 hours. Like say for instance you have sex. Say for instance the feast days span 8 days. All right? You have sex on the 2nd day. You can't go to the service the day following. You're unclean. Read it again.
Count on one kind. We're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. She shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. Until the even.
If you touch her this morning, right, you're unclean until the evening. Right? You're unclean until the evening. If you touch her like right now, the sun has set, right, and you touch her, right, so you're unclean until sunrise and then fall again, right? Basically 24 hours. Go ahead, please.
And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean.
You hear that? You can't even, if she sit on something, right, then you go behind her and sit on it. Oh my God, I'm unclean in 24 hours. Lord is adamant about that right there. Keep going.
Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
See that? Keep going.
And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes
Go ahead.
and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the even.
So like you sit in that bed, the woman on her flower, man, you climb yourself in that bed, man, you got to get out of it and bathe yourself, man, you're unclean 24 hours. Go ahead, please.
So if I could, I don't want would it be like a safe thing, like for the woman to, like have like a wrap up or something like that before she sit down or something like that?
Let me say this. You know, like when the scripture calls for a woman to be. Okay, can you hear me? Somebody complained about the volume?
No, I can't hear you.
All right. What about now? That's better right there? That better right there, priest? I just hate this goddamn thing all in my face. All right, what about that right there? That's better? That's better there, huh? Okay. So the scripture says, of course, if a woman have an issue and her issue be with blood, she should be set apart 7 days. Meaning that sister from the first day she come on, 7 days later, sundown, she's unclean. Anybody that touches her, anybody that sits upon anything that she had sat on, right, is unclean to the evening, meaning 24 hours. All right? What was that next? Go ahead.
So, so say like if your rib or anything, like what's the safety procedure? A brother.
The best thing is what the Lord prescribes. If she come on that period, man, send her away. Like Captain Mashak put it so brilliantly, man, when he said, man, in the kingdom of heaven, man, our sisters are gonna have a retreat, a resort to go to. You know what I'm saying? Where they can get the pedicured and manicured and hair done and be pampered and everything else. But you're not going to be allowed to walk around my house on your flower. That's not going to happen. And it's a perfectly good reason why the Lord established things that way, But because in America, when you say something like that, put her away or send her somewhere else, it's perceived as a negative thing, But just think about the hell that half of America go through dealing with a woman on that flower. The sister, the first one, shook her head. Look at her. She just shook her head like, when I'm on that thing, I'm a goddamn lunatic. So the best thing to do is what? Go somewhere where you can be pampered, where somebody's going to take care of you, right? Where you get your hair done and your nails and everybody understand everything you're going through, right? That's the very best thing for our sisters, man. Because a big old grizzly bear like myself, I ain't. Sometimes I'm unsympathetic to all of that bullshit. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do to keep the love going is to get her out of my face. You get out of her face, right? Send her to some, on a damn cruise ship. Only people can get on this cruise ship is women on their flower. Think about that. Where they get manicured and pedicured and they can go shopping and, just enjoy life without any worries, man. That's how it's going to be for our sisters in the kingdom of heaven. So when she's on that thing, make sure you don't touch anything that she's set on. Make sure you don't lay in the bed with her. Make sure you don't have no disgusting period sex, right? Make sure none of those things go down, man. And the best thing for you to do, if you can't physically afford to take and send her somewhere where she's going to enjoy, the best thing for you to do is separate yourself from her. You see? Don't come in contact with anything that she's come in contact with. At least she be unclean. All right, are we clear?
Count on one count.
You got something else, Kudash the Bar? All right, let's move on. Give me another question, man, before we go into this heavy topic. You got something, Zarat?
La at the moment, sir. Just checking the feed.
Okay. Any questions online? Anybody got any questions online? Give me that call-in number one more time. Kudash the Bar. Anybody want to comment on the topic of a sister, and her uncleanliness based on her issue with blood? You got a question or a comment? Give us a call right now, man. We'll answer your questions and hear your comments. What's the number again, Quadash the Bar? 720-835-5555, and the the access number is what? The PIN number is 55345. All right. You got no questions? All right, let's get into this right here, man. Today I wanted to shine light on, what the Bible. First of all, give me Ephesians 6 and 12. I want to break this down right here because a lot of times I hear it broken down, and it's broken down correctly, of course. But I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on what this scripture actually entails to a more in-depth degree. All right, if I can. All right, give me that Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12.
Wakan. We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Right. So, the scripture says that, our fight, man, coming up under Commander General Yohana, man, there's many called and attempted to call us out and stated, why y'all, where your guns at, man? Why y'all ain't making bombs? Why y'all ain't blowing shit up? Why y'all ain't killing motherfuckers? You know how many times we've heard that? It's because, man, our fight is not a physical fight. I'm going to tell you something. It's another attack that's being launched on every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian person, man, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing physical. It ain't got nothing to do with a physical thing, all right? Of course, the end result is a materialization of a physical act. But the thing that is the initial attack is not a physical one. All right? It's not physical. Like what we see, because we're so one-dimensional, is the result of this spiritual thing manifesting itself in the flesh. Meaning, like, someone says something, and then all of a sudden somebody says something else, and then you might get a physical reaction. So that's a very simple way of putting it right there. But the fight that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, the fight that they need to be concerned with is not the physical one, because that's like a result of the real attack. The real attack, keep reading.
Wakan. But against principalities.
The real attack is against, these principalities, man. These keep reading.
Against powers.
Against what?
Against powers.
The real attack is one that's launched against these powers. Keep going.
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Of what?
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Now, what I want to attempt to do is break this down right here to where, just a common person can understand where I'm trying to go. All right? To where it could be, in my mind, it's ultra plain. All right? Because I witnessed some of these spiritual attacks on black men and women as I grew up in American society, right? And each one of us have witnessed the result of these spiritual attacks that's launched against every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian Native Indian in America to this day. When Donald Trump gets on television and he says, we need to build a wall because our Hispanic brothers and sisters, meaning our Hispanic brothers and sisters, right? When he calls our Hispanic brothers and sisters rapists and murderers and drug addicts and drug dealers, these are the spiritual wickedness, meaning he's putting out there a certain vibration about Hispanic people, man, that's trying to come over here to escape the war-torn, drug proliferated regions that they've lived in since Nixon and Reagan decided to push drugs as a staple in these communities. These people, man, that's seeking refuge in the U.S., right? They're fleeing drug and war-torn environments, man, to come over here to America. But Donald Trump, because he hates Hispanic people, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, what he need to do is create or to reinforce what has already been, dubbed as a black problem or Hispanic problem by associating these people with drugs and rape and robbery and crime. So the spiritual attack that's being launched against our brothers and sisters trying to cross the border, right, is that they're rapists and murderers and monsters and somehow can't contribute to society. When we can't eat a goddamn lemon or a vegetable, man, without recognizing that Hispanic people picked that vegetable, man, and provided it on our dinner table. You see that? So we wrestle not against the flesh and blood. The fight is not in picking up a gun or a knife or a stick and attacking someone. Rather, recognizing that the attack is really in how they set up other people to view us. And if they view us as animals and monsters, right, then there's no sympathy for how these people are treated in the earth. This is modern day witchcraft. All right? Read that one more time. Against what?
Count on one kind. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
You see, the reason why it says darkness, when people hear that scripture, they think about when you hear the darkness of this world. When the darkness of this world is what? Give me a breakdown on that. Who understands that? The darkness of this world. Are we talking about some fucking ghouls and goblins sitting up mixing a goddamn potent ass witch's brew? Is that what we're talking about, man? Huh? So what's the darkness of this world? Who's in the dark, man? Who can't you see that that makes these profound decisions to put out these implications about Hispanic people? Whose decision is that? You think Donald Trump was the one that came up with that propaganda? Hell no. It's a bunch of individuals that sat down and gave him the instructions on what to push out there in the earth. Go ahead.
Yeah, the darkness is the rich devils of the earth that got the money to influence this propaganda. Like, they got the money to, for example, like you said, you fighting witchcraft. They already called black people monkeys, and then they turned around and made a Planet of the Apes movie with these big, strong apes that these white, so-called smart-looking people got to stop them from taking over the earth. So they paint you to look like a big old ape. And when these idiots tell us, why y'all ain't fighting? Why y'all ain't blowing up something? That's what they want us to look like. And then once they portray that in the news, it make it look like a justifiable way for you to get killed. Oh, this ape got out of control and started shooting and slamming people, so we had to tame him and euthanize him.
Mike Brown, you know what I mean? And countless other brothers, man, that they got their heads blown off, man, and the shit beat out them to death, man. The only reason why that was able to go down is because there was a certain picture painted of these individuals, man, that go back, well before you and I were born, all right? Some of them stories we're going to get off into today. One of them I like to bring up right now, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, man, unbeknownst to them, right? These powers, man, these principalities that exist in these dark chambers, in heaven, you know what I mean, in this upper echelon of individuals that make the decisions that we live by every day. Unbeknownst to the average American, you're operating exactly the way these people dictated, the way they intended for you to operate, the way you think and feel, all of it is dictated by the people that live in that upper crust of society, man. These 666 individuals that control policy in America. All right? Everything that you think and breathe, man, and aspire to be, right, is all dictated by these individuals. You got something you want to add? Go ahead.
Kana Wakan, sir. I also wanted to ask, could the darkness of this world be the agenda against blacks, Hispanics, and Native
That's
Indians?
what we're talking about, priest. That's exactly what we're talking about. The darkness, hold on, Slakia. The darkness is, you don't know who these people are. You just know they exist. You know, like the Rothschilds and the De Beers and, you know, the Buffetts and these bastards like that, man. You know what I'm saying? These people live in the dark. You know what I'm saying? They live, Salakia. They make the decisions in the dark that affect how we live our everyday life. Read that part again about the darkness.
Khan, I don't want Khan. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
You see, the rulers of the darkness, meaning these decisions that they come up with, they all come up with these decisions in a little bitty damn room. These 600 people, man, they control everything. These 666 people control every goddamn thing on the face of the earth in a dark, obscure location that you and I are oblivious to. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, man. You see that? Our fight is against this wickedness, man, that's betrayed. Slack it. This wickedness that is, you know, that is almost commonplace about black men. You see that? You know, we got a reputation of not loving our children, not loving our women, right? They put that out there. They put that propaganda out there. And meanwhile, they create a scenario within your household that forces you out the door. So it appears that they're correct in what they say about black men, right? Being drug addicts and you know, men that don't care about their family. When they push the agenda for your woman to kick you out the house, right? And then paint a picture, Salakia, about how you are outside of the house. You see? So the rulers of the darkness are those, like you said, that upper crust of individuals that make certain decisions and push certain agendas about God's chosen people, okay? So I want to tie this in with, give me Revelations chapter 12 and verse 1. Let's go. We're going to go back to Ephesians, but let's talk about Revelations real quick.
Wakan.
Go ahead, priest. Revelations 12 and 1 first.
Wakan. We are in the book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven.
Hold on. So this wonder, right? This wonder, and of course, this is John on the island of Patmos, man. He's seeing a vision. So what he's seeing, he's giving you the best description of his vision in a way that he thinks that you might be able to grasp, okay? And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, right? How many heavens are there? Go ahead.
Is it 2?
Kudash Tabar, how many heavens are there? How many heavens are there? It's 3. All right, it's 3 heavens. Where the Most High dwell, right? Then the celestial, where the stars are, right? And then it's another heaven that, how can I describe it? Yeah, there's another heaven that's, you know, for instance, we would say Donald Trump is in heaven, right? We would say that this bastard man can go anywhere. What is that place he often frequents? Yeah, no, it's some damn fucking resort, man, where he get catered to. You know what I'm saying? His wife go to, you know what I mean, every other month, right? They live between New York and Paris, you know, on some damn private jet that, you know, can afford anything on the planet that they'd like. You know what I mean? This is heaven, man. You know what I mean? This is them enjoying, you know, their best life. You feel me? So, read it again, please.
Con out of one con. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun.
Go ahead.
And the moon under her feet. And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So this woman is a metaphor for what? Go ahead.
This woman is a metaphor of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay. This woman is a metaphor for God's chosen people, Khan. And you know that because, you know, the Lord likened the children of Israel to a comely and delicate woman. She had 12 stars, a crown of 12 stars on her head. Right? Keep reading.
Khan out of one con. And she being with child.
She being with what?
And she being with child.
Go ahead.
Cried, travailing in birth.
All right, so this woman, man, the children of Israel, man, are crying. Right? Give me what this metaphor is talking about right here. And she being with child, cried, travailing. Read it again. Slakia.
Con out of one con. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Right. So she's crying, man, because this woman is on the verge of delivering a baby. Very painful. She's going through a bunch of agony right now. Keep reading.
Con out of one con. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
A what?
A great red dragon.
Okay.
Having 7 heads.
Having what?
Having 7 heads.
Okay, so because this, you know, this breakdown is not necessarily about the 7 heads. We're just going to say that the 7 heads represent the military might of the white man. All right, from his time in Greece and Rome and everywhere else, man, he's established a major military. All right, so another wonder appeared in heaven, a dragon, a red dragon, a great red dragon. That's how we know it's the white man. That's how we know it's Esau's military might. All right, we know that because of the description of the color and the history of the Edomites. All right, keep going.
And appeared 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Go ahead.
And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven.
Okay.
And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered.
Go ahead.
For to devour her child as soon as it was born.
All right, so that part right there, man, this dragon, man, stood before the child, stood before the woman, waiting to devour the child as soon as it was delivered. Right, you can find that, I believe, in the book of in the Apocrypha, where the nations turned their countenance to fight Christ coming out the sky. Right now, the nation of Israel, you know, in the ISUPK, man, what we hope to usher in is Christ. Everything that we go through, I don't want to go too far off, but everything that we go through in pushing the laws, statutes, and commandments, establishing our high holy days, man, going out to camp, man, we are trying to usher in Christ. All right, all of our pitfalls, right, everything that we face every day in America that prevents us from doing those things is Esau. It's the white man. It's his agenda to kill our movement. Go ahead. Most High in Christ. Yeah. Whenever you want to. You ready right now? Okay, cool. All right, keep going, please.
Count on one kind. And did cast them to the earth.
Uh-huh.
And the dragon stood before the woman,
Go ahead.
which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man child,
Okay.
who was to rule all nations.
Because he was to rule all nations, man. The white man is doing everything in his power. This how it ties back in with Ephesians. All right. So the purpose of them, launching such an elaborate attack on Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people is to prevent Christ from being ushered in, man. To prevent our King from coming and establishing a righteous rulership in the earth, where everybody is up under Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people. So these principalities, man, that we fight against spiritually are all designed to stop you from disseminating the laws, statutes, and commandments as a thing that Christ never said that we should get away from. All right? All of this, everything that, like, we had a discussion today on all of the products that we used to. We still discovering today that it's food and chips, man. They got, what the hell, you got the pork and potato chips. Why is there a cheesy pork and some Cheetos, man? Brothers eating Cheetos all the goddamn time, not realizing these goddamn things got pork in them, man. Everywhere you turn, the white man has, the devil the Bible speaks of, has devised some wickedness, man, to prevent you from obtaining the thing that you desire so much. So our fight is in uncovering the deception of the white man. We're going to get into more of it. Right now, Qudash Jabbar, you want to take a break, priest? All right, Most High in Christ, we're going to break, man. We'll take a quick break, man, and come back with more on the deception of this goddamn devil, man, here in America, man.
Modern Mark Productions.
Yeah, I will pull out all the demons, got a nigga walking clean. Though I got the same drama, I don't think the same thing. My desire is the kingdom, forget your damn dream. My reality is king. Follow the creed, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh Allah, Hayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. We serve one God. Behold, he has the power to devour all our enemies. We be on the front line preserving our energy. Act like you kin to me and be of good use. I'm a living sacrifice in need of good foods. I got the juice, the water, and the cola. I'm like battery acid and baking soda. Let the word super soak it. I'm striking you like a cobra on fire like supernovas. I'm a UPK soldier, 29 years older, but look at me as a babe. Paraventure, watch a real man behave with a beard, not a shave. Fringes are not a fade, with borders of blue and the old man in the grave. The shield of Dawada with the war man for a chain. I rock with the commanding general all day. He keeps paving the way for niggas like me. From the northern to the southern kingdoms, we face the east. Our place of peace, even in solemn assembly. At the feast, we rep Yahweh Shah, our king is a beast. We hit the streets, highly anticipating the win from the Almighty while we reveal the man of sin. Giving back the true identity to his people again. Isaiah 49 and 6 is how Israelites get sent. Get in the trench, more to your bricks. What's your wager? 144K later. Fuck the style, watch me hit you with that UPK smile. Fuck the smile, 1969 UPK style. Fuck the style, watch me hit you with that UPK smile. Fuck the smile, 1969 UPK style. Welcome to the jungle rumble, young man. Rumble, don't faint, keep rank, don't break, stay humble. If you're getting out of line, tell me what do you expect? The most high is playing chess and a checker to buy your neck. It's called respect. Double honors to your elder, not just the hoary heads, but brothers governed together, growing tighter when we tether like the leather of a cow. High brothers on post, northwest, east, south side, outside. Prophesy
prophesying outright. Weather permitting, you stop and listen to the outcry. Pumping through the alpine, the white man's the devil, that's real, damn right. What you smoking, get off of his glass pipe, you need a light. We standing here, bringing out the scriptures. If you open your mind and close your legs, you'll get the picture. But the two-thirds will bicker, the elect is on deck. Yahweh is a man of war, the battle is high-tech. The kingdom is at hand, get your bumper clock, eyes checked. Back up, or you could die unless it's not a test. Or a scarf or a mitre upon our head, she'll set it upon our chest. The general's on the set, you have a spirit of unrest. I detect you're a Christian, or your iman is missing, but you believe you're Egyptian. Come up out of that madness and leave those religions. The white man's the devil on earth. In case you missed, it's not a mystery. We shout it at the top of our lungs. But honor and dignity are preserved for his prodigal sons. We're number one in abortion and the murder rate. Plus the prison state, a result of our language engaged. Bring your tie to the UPK, be ye baptized in newly made. Cause up until now, you've been facing the crowd. Bring your ties to the UPK, be ye baptized in newly made. Cause up until now, you've been a minstrel's time. Fuck a style, watch me hit you with that UPK smile. Fuck a smile, 1969, UPK style. Fuck a style, watch me hit you with that UPK smile. Fuck a smile, 1969, UPK style. What makes an Israelite getting all black? Pull his nuts off the shelf, what you know about that? I'll be gone for a minute, mama, when I come back I'ma hit the streets with the bass off blast. Be a brother to my brother like we homies. Judging the look upon his face, he wanna stone me, but I'ma die hard, no more building Nakatomi. We the ISUPK, the one and only home of the truth, motherfucker, so we holy. All the mother Hebrew, Christ, real life roots is phony. There's no homo, no baloney. If you're loving these heathens, you're engaging in foley. We be raising awareness so you can say he ain't warm me yet. 12 gauging the 40 would do away with your shouting. Not to mention the chariots beaming, raising their glory. Don't get caught up in allegories. War is the category, peeping out the territory. Boarded, we the top tier, that's not an overstatement. Warriors dwell here, one west to the death of the white man and the rest of the heathen. Even then I'm giving shot treatment. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war. Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. If you can't take no more, let's go to war. We in the war zone, we in the war zone. Where's your gun? How wish I would have your church building burned down for fun. There's a media blackout when you're bringing out the truth, but every time Dick and Harry heard it, Dylan Storm. He's the proof the white man is the wicked. Not to mention Mark Storm's gunned down. Robert Bryson, a fellow Christian, what's the mark of the beast? Pops forgave him the next day. You fuck with any of mine, it's gonna be hell to pay. A 5-second delay ain't enough for correct unless orders come down from the top. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, one stop. All the crime we commit against each other has got to stop. We were given the planet, what the hell is the square block? Running around with your head locked, chasing some bedrock with the princes of power. That type of shit make the dead walk. The apple lovers, I forsake them not. I implore you to punch the clock. I see servants on horses, they in hoping to see the light. With the carcasses, it won't get a moment to even ride. UPK ready to empty the full clip out the Glock. Either give it your all or watch another take your spot. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. When you can't take no more, let's go to war. Don't play the whore, Yasha Allah, no more. Make a motherfucker bounce to this hardcore. Hebrews running up the wall, killers busting down your door. In the army of Christ, this is what we train for. Taking back the rainbow, no more food for you faggots. Kushat is my covenant, it wasn't with you maggots. A Christian is no different, all I'm giving up the backside. UPK coming with the heavy dose of act right. Never mind your last night, let it be your last night. Leaping to the fight, broad day with a flashlight. Speaking to the hood on a pulpit of wood with top brain. Blaze the camp, when it's over I drink to that. You can hate from the back, but bro, we stating the facts. When this empire's falling in amazing fashion, instead of clashing, Israel should focus on his enemies. Where's your passion? That's your reaction to polygamy. All these damn women, bitch niggas wanna limit me. 4-10, and if I still have the energy to break a rib back, both mentally and physically, Yahweh Ratazah. I'ma have my first infantry of law-abiding offspring to populate the centuries. I'm a grown man, son, you kidding me? I told him separate from Edom, seen him crying for a remedy. As long as there's wind in me, I'm on fire like Timothy. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. Let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie. If you can't take no more, let's go to war, Yasha Allah, go to war, homie.
Exodus 4:22. And how in the hell did you try to take this Bible and use it for everybody? You stupid as hell. You dumb as hell. This Bible is what's going to condemn you. Because this is the book of the Israelites. You should have destroyed this book, you dumb so-called white people. Instead of going around and trying to use the Bible is the book that's going to destroy your world.
Excuse me, everyone, I have a brief announcement to make. Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and the government is lying about 9/11. Thank you for your time, and good night.
Shalom, Ak. Shalom, Ak. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakathah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakathum. Khan.
No one knows because they tried to keep it on the low from all my folks because they folk, so I'ma kill them with the flow. Blinded by the dough, we can't see clearly through the smoke. They'd rather see us on that troll, locked up, they're buried in a hole. Ain't wanna see us grow because they can't go toe to toe, but I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. Try to stop our glow, but they cannot achieve their goal, so I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow.
Hey, who shot big smalls? If we don't get them, they gon' get us all. And I'll be damned if I just sit back while my people fall. There is no contestant when we all in this together, so let's come together now so we can end this shit forever. I don't wanna go to school, I'd rather read up on my enemies and study all the methods used to kill my people mentally. Sex, money, and drugs is destroying our identity, and this ain't nothing new. This shit been going on for centuries. Instead of fighting for rights, we should have been fighting for our land. Now we fighting for the man. They'll go right into their plan. And I'm sick of this. It's ridiculous how the government is such hypocrites. They make the laws, then break the laws. How serious should I take the laws? My blood, homie, I'll take a loss. This family first, worst come to worst, and I die for mine. Me and my niggas, we charged up like alkaline. We strapped up like Caliban. When it's wartime, I'm on the front line. Facts life, I'm acting like I was born again. It's the afterlife.
No one knows because they tried to keep it on the low from all my folks because they folk, so I'ma kill them with the flow. Blinded by the dough, we can't see clearly through the smoke. They'd rather see us on that troll, locked up, they're buried in a hole. Ain't wanna see us grow because they can't go toe to toe, but I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. Try to stop our glow, but they cannot achieve their goal, so I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. Check it, get your life right, cause this the last call. Christ coming back and he's gonna judge us all. It can happen while you shopping, walking around the mall. Where you from, where you at, Babylon will fall. Lose your head by the sword or obey his laws. You hear them drum beats? We in the midst of war, but it's a holy one. I speak the holy tongue. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakathum. I got the most high power, I ain't need a gun. I'll be out here reppin' till his kingdom come. His bread's for the children, you can't get a crumb. Yeah, they hear me, they ain't feeling where I'm coming from. But la-di-da-di, fuck everybody from the Catholic Church to Illuminati. Christ coming back, now the Anunnaki trying to warn the people, but they tried to knock me. What you thought that I wasn't gonna throw my voice in? Fuck all of y'all, white Jesus poison. No one knows because they tried to keep it on the low from all my folks because they folk, so I'ma kill them with the flow. Blinded by the dough, we can't see clearly through the smoke. They'd rather see us on that troll, locked up, they're buried in a hole. Ain't wanna see us grow because they can't go toe to toe, but I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. Try to stop our glow, but they cannot achieve their goal, so I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. No one knows because they tried to keep it on the low from all my folks because they folk, so I'ma kill them with the flow. Blinded by the dough, we can't see clearly through the smoke. They'd rather see us on that troll, locked up, they're buried in a hole. Ain't wanna see us grow because they can't go toe to toe, but I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow. Try to stop our glow, but they cannot achieve their goal, so I can feel it in my soul. They gon' be reaping what they sow.
Having that dream where you made the white people riot, weren't you?
But I was telling the truth.
How many times have I told you you better not even dream about telling white folk the truth? You understand me? Shoot. Making white people riot. You better learn how to lie like me. I'm gonna find me a white man and lie to him right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hebrews and Shebrews, we are the ISUP God's chosen people. My narration describes a young boy push it aside, and all he ever wanted was a little piece of the pie. But all he ever got was hate, hurt, being deprived, cause of a system not designed with his kind in mind. But in time he'll find why his friends are his foes, his brothers in jail, sisters his hoes. While Papa never was around to teach him stuff he should know, the type of stuff to keep his kids and gangsters and hoes. But Papa never around to teach him stuff he should know, the type of stuff his kids from being gangsters and hoes. But see, for Pop, shit, they were different. Raised without a father, pod to go pissing. Not even a mother, he was raised by his brother. This was around the same time son was hung for being colored. Meanwhile, mama out here working OT. It's the only way she knew her boy was gonna eat. It was hard in the city, he moved down south. A few years after that, her little boy moved out. Meanwhile, mama working OT. It's the only way she knew her boy was gonna eat. It was hard in the city, she moved down south. A few years after that, her little boy moved out.
Our narration describes the lives of the lost tribes in the ghetto trying to survive, working 9 to 5 to provide, swallowing their pride. Things we gotta do to stay alive, and still we rise.
LeBron representing the Israelite School of UPK, man, here in the Midwest zone, man. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, man, and his agenda is extensive. Let's get back right off into Revelations where you left off at, Priest, real quick. And then I want you to bring out that article, Kudash Bar, because the purpose of this is to expose to, you know, like our grandmothers and grandfathers, man, that older generation, man, that used to, you know, believe the things that they saw in the evening news, right? And they themselves, you know, kind of, you know, operated under that witchcraft, those spells that the white man unleashed through the media and through television. And still to this day, man, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, man, unbeknownst to them, they still judge their people based on what the devil has portrayed them to be, and not, you know, based on who they really are. All right. So, Kudash Bar, if you could pull up. First of all, let's go back into the National Geographic story. Their so-called apology that nobody know about. National Geographic. Let me tell you, black people, man. Black people come from Israel. All right. We fled into Africa, man, fleeing Roman persecution, and as a result, them stinking Africans, man, betrayed us, man, turned on us, man, and sold us back to our enemies, man. They formulated cliques, man, and attacked us one by one, man, gathered us up, and sold us back to the monsters that we were fleeing from. All right. Caucasian people, understanding that we were not. And we were definitely not African people, had to push an agenda to appeal in the minds of black people that, in a way that would make them not ever want to be that thing that they described them descending from. All right, and National Geographic was at the forefront, of course, through the powers that we speak about, man, in Ephesians. This upper echelon of these 666 individuals that make the decisions on what get disseminated, what information get disseminated in the earth, particularly about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. So give me what National Geographic apologized for doing from, I believe, the 30s, right? Read, I believe it's in that second paragraph. Remember that paragraph that we decided we would start at Kudash Bar? Read that for me right there, please. And then the sister did write a question in online as well.
Kind out of one
question. Go ahead.
Kind out of one kind. For decades, our coverage was racist.
Now, what is this? What are you reading from, Priest?
This is the National Geographic website.
All right. Now think about why did National Geographic have to take this racist approach towards reporting on black people in America? The reason they had to do this is because every society needs a people on the bottom. They need a people that are more than willing, you know what I mean, to do the shittiest jobs, right? To take all the persecution, to be the lower class people. Every society, every kingdom needs this right here. And the agenda that forced black people to want to be, you know, that people was played in these media outlets, was pushed in these media outlets. These media outlets, man, painted a picture of black people supposedly for where they came from, right? Meaning like, you know, they said we came from Africa with bones in our nose and with straw, you know, skirts tied around our waist, our women running around with their breast out. This is what National Geographic's agenda was. And the reason they pushed that in the black community is because they wanted black people never to want to leave America. They wanted black people to feel more at home being a goddamn disgusting degenerate slave in America than ever, you know, a nigga in Africa. All right? So Geographic came out with this article, man, you know, all of these years later apologizing for their role in witchcraft, basically. They apologized for their role in making you believe that you were just some disgusting, you know, straw, skirt wearing, bone in the nose, bush bitch. You know, that's why grandmama and auntie, you know, loved America so much, because they couldn't see themselves running around in Africa with a goddamn bone in their nose, being you know, dictated by some bushman. All right, read the article, please.
Kind out of one kind. For decades, our coverage was racist.
So for decades, our coverage was racist. Go ahead.
To rise above our past, we must acknowledge it.
So now they're saying, man, they want to rise above the past, so they got to acknowledge their role in convincing the whole entire world that black people were disgusting bush people in Africa. Keep going.
Kind out of one kind. National Geographic used a slavery-era slur to describe California cotton workers waiting to load a ship in California.
That's not the one. Keep going up.
Kind out of one kind. How we present race matters. I hear from readers that National Geographic provided their first look at the world. Our explorers, scientists, photographers, and writers have taken people to places they never imagined, in a tradition that still drives our coverage.
It's a tradition that still drives our coverage.
Salakia. It's a tradition that still drives our coverage, and of which we're rightly proud. And it means we have a duty in every story to present accurate and authentic depictions, a duty heightened when we cover freight issues such as race.
Okay. Now skip down to not about Haile Selassie, not about that guy. Go down a little bit more.
Oh, here we go. Salakia.
Okay.
Americans got ideas about the world from Tarzan movies and cruel racist
caricatures.
Meaning
this right here, man. They made sure that these stories depicting black people and how they were supposedly before slavery, they made sure that these stories were associated with bush people, man. You know what I mean? And people that lived in Africa with, you know, with those the big ass bones in their nose, and, you know, the women running around naked. They made sure that every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian person saw that as where black people came from. So they depicted us in these caricatures that were absolutely false in order to create in our mind a condition of how black people lived prior to slavery. They wanted us to believe, right, through this media, that we were, you know, so disgusting prior to slavery that we would appreciate our position in America. That we would appreciate being ex-slaves, man. And you know, and with this vast opportunity to be all we can be in American society and love Whitey. Because Whitey did us such a goddamn favor by bringing us over here on those slave boats. That was the purpose of National Geographic, man. Was to show black people that you're much better off being over here, an ex-slave, than you would have been had you stayed over there in disgusting Africa. You know, you'd have been like, you know, you see Tarzan. Tarzan swinging through the goddamn jungle on the vine. He fighting gorillas and monkeys and shit. And the women running around naked over there. Is that what you want? That was the agenda of National Geographic, man. To make sure that the slaves never wanted to go back any goddamn where. Keep reading, priest.
Khan. Americans got ideas about the world from Tarzan movies and crude racist caricatures. He said segregation was the way it was. National Geographic wasn't teaching as much as reinforcing messages they already received, and in doing so in a magazine that had tremendous authority.
Read it again. Understand, it's saying exactly what I just said, man. National Geographic wasn't teaching shit. They were reinforcing stereotypes about niggas, man. That we ran around in Africa with straw skirts on, right? That we ate human being bodies, right? That our women ran around naked as well, and we were just fucking savages, man. This is the principalities in these high places, man, that we wrestle against, man. These are strongholds that has to be torn down in order for black people to realize, man, that you've just been made a goddamn fool of in America. Your grandmama, man, looking out the door, looking out the window, man, and seeing a group of young black boys walk up the street, her seeing that, man, and then calling the cops when they ain't done nothing, was a result of witchcraft. Was a result of the same thing that National Geographic did, the same thing that the Nixon administration pushed as an agenda to mar the reputation of black people coming out of the struggles of the 60s, man. They wanted our own people even to begin to see us as these degenerates, man. And listen, man, he's been widely successful because even to this day, black people, man, have no respect for other black people, man. That's why it's so easy to shoot a nigga in his goddamn face. Because of this propaganda. Give me some more on the article, priest.
Khan out of one Khan. National Geographic wasn't teaching as much as reinforcing messages they already received, and doing so in a magazine that had tremendous authority. National Geographic comes into existence at the height of colonialism.
You see that? When they were just conquering blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. Then all of a sudden, oh, we got National Geographic. Why? Why is that, man? Because now they need the witchcraft, man, to permeate the minds of the people that's controlling these so-called savages, man. They need a major agenda to appeal to people as to why they shouldn't have an issue with destroying black little girls, man, and black little boys, man. Right? So they got to put this. Listen, man, Ephesians, man, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is what we're talking about. These principalities right here that came together and constructed National Geographic at the height of colonialism it was the intended purpose, man. That's why they did it. So along with beating the shit and killing and murdering and enslaving black people, they had this magazine that pushed why black people were worthy of that treatment. Why it shouldn't be a problem to the average white person to treat a little black baby girl in the way that they did, man. These the powers, man, that we still fighting against to this day, right? Because if you turn on the media, they depicting black men as X, Y, and Z. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't reflect who I am as a father nor as a human being. But the majority of the people that's looking in the media, they're going to see black men as they're depicted in those particular lights. All right? Keep going, priest.
Kind out of one kind. National Geographic comes into the existence at the height of colonialism, and the world was divided into the colonizers and the colonized.
That's correct. Go ahead.
That was a color line, and National Geographic was reflecting that view of the world.
Keep reading.
Some of what you find in our archives leaves you speechless.
Read that again.
Some of what you find in our archives leaves you speechless.
Meaning, like, you know, today, National Geographic, keep that up there. I want you to go right back to it. But today, you would think National Geographic to be like, one of the foremost authority on culture and world exploration and, you know, science and you know, all these other good things, man, that's been informative, man. You wouldn't think that that was a magazine that would promote and push the disgusting agenda to keep black people at the bottom of the world. But some of what you would read about these institutions, man, about this magazine would leave you speechless, because their agenda was to destroy black people, man, in the minds of everybody throughout the earth, man. These are the principalities, man, the spiritual wickedness and high places that we fight against every goddamn day. And the reason why we can't get brothers and sisters to understand that we are God's chosen people is because of this agenda right here, man. They did it. As soon as they decided to enslave black people, they said, okay, well, we need to appeal to the people that are going to be somewhat sympathetic. Let's start painting a picture of them as being these disgusting bushmen that's eating bodies and shit, man, and putting plates in the lips of their women and cutting their clitorises off. Let's paint them in this light right here, so nobody has sympathized with them. All right, keep reading.
Kind out of one kind. Underneath photos of two Aboriginal people, the caption reads, South Australian blackfellows. These savages rank lowest in intelligence of all human beings.
Oh, my God, man, which gave them the cause to go over there and exterminate all the Australian people, man. You understand that? All Australian people, man, were exterminated by these monsters, man. You know, the Australian people were regulated to plants. That's how they classify them, man. They're no more than a goddamn plant, than a weed growing in your backyard. You cut them down just like you cut a weed in the backyard, and you shouldn't feel no way about it, man. That's why there's no Aboriginals, man. That's why there's no Aboriginals to this day, because the white man painted this picture of them, and then filled that whole continent up with a bunch of savage-ass prisoners. Australia is a prison colony, right? It's a society that has gotten its rise off of prisoners being the predominant people in that land. Keep reading, priest.
Kind out of one kind. Questions arise not just from what's in the magazine, but what isn't.
Go ahead.
Mason compared two stories we did about South Africa, one in 1962, the other in 1977. The 1962 story was printed 2.5 years after the massacre of 69 black South Africans by police in Sharpeville. Many shot in the back as they fled.
Go ahead.
The brutality of the killing shocked the world.
Now listen, man. Now we know we ain't no goddamn disgusting Africans, but the world has said that we are African people. So if you depict an African in a certain light, automatically, man, you're talking about so-called African Americans. So a lot of that, you know, of course, you know, a lot of them Africans are disgusting, which is the reason why they want you to know how disgusting Africans are, so you can not ever want to be that again. You got something, priest? Go ahead.
So Salaki Adawan, if I may, my question was, so since they throwing all these agendas, at the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, is it because of like how the scriptures say about the daughter of Babylon, like that word Babylon is the confusion?
This is no, all right. They're not confused in their mind at all. But let me show you what I'm trying to get you to understand. All right, I'm trying to like take you back to where to how black people have begun to consider themselves and why the world see you as they see you right now. It's because of Ephesians. Read it again. Read Ephesians one more time. Right here. No. Let me sum it up there. Bro. Hit me up one more time. Give me that scripture real quick though. This is what I'm attempting to bring home right here. All right. The reason why, you too wild. The reason why our mothers and our grandmothers, right, and all the people in our community were more apt to agree with police officers in their pursuit of young black men just simply by walking up the block. One of my first testimonies as I came into the Israelite School of UPK is, I was a big old goofy kid, man. I like science and working with my hands. I wasn't no thug. I wasn't killing nobody or nothing like that. I remember walking up the street on my way to the rec center. All right, just being, big old kid. Probably looked like I was maybe 20 and I was only 15 or 16, right? And I remember looking over my shoulder and seeing 4 big-ass black police officers with badges hanging from their goddamn neck like our shields, right? Approaching me aggressively, right? And shit, they looked like they was about to do something to me, so I took off running, right? They caught me and beat me like I was, oh my God. Beat me like, you wouldn't believe that they beat me. Then they put me in a police car, took me miles away from my home and dropped me off in this obscure area, right? And this was my first encounter with the police. And every time after that, guess what I did? I saw them motherfuckers. Man, I learned how to jump over the fence without touching it. You see what I'm saying? I'd jump over that goddamn fence, zoom, and I look back, man, and it became fun. And every time I saw the police, it was like, okay, they don't know the hood. They don't know me like, and I'd get away from their ass. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden I start carrying guns. Then all of a sudden I'm selling drugs. Had it not been for that encounter with the police, man, I may not have ever had any contact, with the penitentiary. You see what I'm saying? So even in the minds of the law enforcement, man, they see a nigga on the street, the first thing they think is he's engaging in some crime. They never think that the little boy just happened to be, you happen to live in the ghetto, man. And what I'm trying to tie in is the reason why they have that in their mind as, as the normal for black young men. It's because of these agendas like this. So we go from like, in order to keep killing black people and enslaving them and beating the shit out of them, they had to push articles like, black people not even human. You know that. Black people ain't but 3/5 of who we are. So whatever you do to black people, man, shit, don't even worry about it, man. They grow just like the weeds in the backyard. Don't worry about it. So in the height of colonialism, where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people were persecuted and made to pick cotton and got the shit beat out of them. In the height of that era, National Geographic was running articles, man, that supported doing those things to black people. You see? Supported. So after colonialism, right, and now you enter the era where we are right now, where black people are supposedly free. What is the agenda to keep them? What did they push in order to keep black people in that same regard? You see, in that same light. What was the next level of of propaganda, of witchcraft? Right? Read Ephesians one more time for me. What's the next level? Keep going.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Man, your fight ain't in picking up no goddamn gun and going to shoot nobody, man. You ain't gonna do nothing but get yourself killed. But against what?
But against principalities.
This is what we're talking about right now, man. These 666 people that control the media. You see that own National Geographic, that own Fox News, that own MSNBC, that own all your media outlets, that own Facebook, that own Twitter, all right, that own everything that black people, that television is a source, it's twofold. It could be a source for information or a source to be witched, all right? It's a source to be bewitched, all right? It's not in flesh and blood, but against what?
Principalities.
Against what?
Principalities.
Go ahead.
Against powers. Against the rulers of the darkness.
What is more powerful than them publishing an article about black people and having it disseminated throughout all black culture, all white people culture, throughout the whole goddamn world about who we were, when really that wasn't us, man. We wasn't the motherfuckers in Africa, man. Shit, wiping, using shit as a goddamn lotion. That wasn't us, but that's how they depicted us, as shit-faced Africans, man. And who want to be a shit-faced African? Listen, man, I'll be anything before I rub some shit, some cow shit on my face and have, you never, this is what I grew up looking at, man. I grew up looking at little African bald-headed babies, man, with shit all over their face. And I'm like, damn, aren't you going to swat the goddamn fly off your face? I never want to be no goddamn shit-faced African, man. Nor did my grandmother. You see that? My grandmother wanted to just be an American. you feel me? She don't want to be no shit-faced African, man. Salakia. But that is the powers, man, that we wrestle against. Man, we got to build it. We got to tear down these strongholds on the minds of grandmama, man. Grandmama don't care nothing about this Israelite shit, as long as you don't tell her she's that she got to go back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? She don't care about nothing else, as long as you ain't involved in taking me out of America and putting me nowhere, which is the same thing that our people did coming out of Egypt, believe it or not. Who has something? Go ahead, please.
This brother, or I don't know what he is right now, dude named Mike the Situation says, Africans are the kings of the world.
Oh, good Lord Christ. Okay. All right. Africans are the kings of the world? Okay.
And then he also said, keep it 100, we all Africans.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so he just made a statement. He just got a statement. But black people, man, are not African people. Just because you got dark skin, right? And dark skin. That's the only thing. Dark skin and nappy hair don't make you all Africans, man. East Indians got dark skin, man. Some Japanese people got dark skin. Arabs got dark skin, man. You know what I'm saying? That does not make us African. All right. Moreover, right? If we were African people. If we were those people of South Africa or all them other countries, Nigeria, man, why don't we look like them, man? Why don't we look like these goddamn people, man? And moreover, if them Africans were just as talented, or just as actually, you would say they would be more pure, right? Why they don't do what we do, man? Have you ever heard an African try to rap? You ever seen an African try to play basketball? Dikembe Mutombo, you remember that bastard? He had two left foot with 4 big toes, man. You see that? Michael Jordan dunked on him. We not African people, and African people, man, they ain't king of nothing. They the king of shit and flies. That's what Africans are. The king of shit and piss and flies and cutting the clitorises off of their daughters, man. That's what Africans are the king of. All right? Go ahead, please.
So, Salakia, sir, if I may, they pushed us to not even To hate ourselves even more.
That's the agenda. That's the guts of Ephesians, man. That's the point. The guts of Ephesians is to tell you that the things that really attack you are these things that's in your mind about yourself and the things that's in the other people's minds about you. That is the agenda that has kept black people where they are. You know, black people don't want to go back to nothing associated with Africa. I feel you. That's correct. Never want to go and be a disgusting African. Say again, priest. Okay, Most High in Christ. We'll be closing up in a second. All right. Let me see. Before we do close, I do want to hit. Let's go to. All right. Now that we understand that is the powers that we fight against, man, is really in the powers of suggestion, the powers of the media moguls, man, that control what's seen on the television screen. All right, what's pushed in not just the media but also in school. I need to hit that topic as well. The agenda on public school, man. Oh my God, it is so disgusting what they want black people to believe about themselves. From that it was like the transatlantic migration is what they call in slavery now in grade school. The transatlantic migration, and that has a volunteer connotation to it. It says that black people volunteered to come over here. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. 99 million of us died, man, in the voyage over here, man. It wasn't a voluntary situation at all. All right? So, let's go back to Revelations because I want to get all the way down to verse 17.
Kind on one kind.
So Caucasian people understand it, right? Caucasian people understand it, man, that black people, man, are God's chosen people, right? They fighting so hard, right, through this suggestive agenda in the media and etc. They fighting so hard to keep this strong hold over the minds of black people, right? And that's what you're seeing taking place right now. Like these mega pastors, man, this disgusting ass Christian church, man. Their agenda is to never let you go. Their agenda is to never let black people go, because black people, man, without black people's contribution to this country, man, it would fall overnight. All right. Where do we leave off in Revelation?
Kind of one kind. So we was at Revelations chapter 12 and verse 4.
Okay, keep going.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
Go ahead.
And did cast them to the earth.
Keep going.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered.
Man, and the dragon stood before the children of Israel, man, that is crying for Christ to come and save us out of this hell. That's the child. And this in the white man, with all of his power and his authority, man, he's using his agenda to permeate the minds of everybody on the earth to destroy this thing that is destined to happen, meaning delivery of Christ for the children of Israel. Keep going.
Kind out of one kind. For to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Meaning that when Christ and the 250 million angels, man, is depicted, I believe in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, I believe, Salakia, but it's in the Apocrypha. Christ is predicted coming to the earth, man, with 250 million angels, man. And when the white man and all other societies that rule the earth right now see that coming out the sky, see Christ crack that sky, they are predicted to turn all of their weapons on that thing, man, which is Christ coming to deliver the children of Israel out of hell. Keep going, priest.
Kind out of one kind. Revelations chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations.
You see that? And this dragon, man, this the white man, wanted to kill Christ, man, before he touched down. In fact, man, he wanted to create a condition, man, where Christ never comes. And how can he be successful? What can he do, man? What he can do is continue in his agenda to destroy the thought of us being God's chosen people from penetrating our minds and from us acting out as we're supposed to do in the earth, obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. Like we touched on earlier, man, all the poison that they put in the food ain't gonna be enough. Every time you examine a product, man, God damn it, got some pork in it. You see what I'm saying? Everywhere you go, man, it's some disgusting holiday, man. It's something to celebrate, some idol to worship, man. That's why it's so much of this crap, man. That's why it's a sea of this garbage here in America for you to get distracted in. A sea of Christianity. It's a sea of pork and shrimp and crab and lobster, man. You see that? It's a sea of all of these goddamn disgusting holidays, and in homosexuality. It's a sea of evil that we could easily get distracted into following. All right, keep reading.
Khan on one Khan. With a rod of iron.
So Christ gonna come, man, and guess what? He predicted, man, to set this place in order. Christ predicted to come with a rod of iron, man, and kill every goddamn thing, man, that ain't pushing the Most High, man. That's what Christ coming to do. He's murdering every goddamn body with a rod of iron. Keep going, priest.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. And the woman fled unto the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Now the sister asked a question online, and she said, are we in the wilderness right now? No, we in captivity right now. We in captivity. I wish we were in the wilderness. Wilderness is like think about the children of Israel after they came out of Egypt. Where did they reside? In the wilderness for 40 years, I believe. Salakia, if I misquoted. But no, we're still in captivity right now, man. I got to go to that goddamn slavery tomorrow, God damn it. I got to go to that goddamn slavery. If I don't go to that goddamn slavery, I'm going to lose everything. You see, I got to pay these taxes, man, to the white man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep doing everything that I do every day in order for my babies to eat. If this was the wilderness, the Lord would be providing the necessary nutrients for us in a safe place for us. We're not there yet. All right, keep reading, please.
Khan out of one Khan. And there was war in heaven.
Stop right there. Give me. I want everybody to understand the depths that this white man has gone through in order to keep us in the condition that we are. All right. Read briefly for me that Nixon's report. Kodash Tabar, you in there? Read for me briefly. Nixon's aide. What he said about the so-called war on drugs.
Khan out of one Khan. Report aid says Nixon war on drugs targeted blacks and hippies. One of Richard Nixon's top advisors.
Now hold on. Read the source. Read the source. It's right there. Go back where you was at. Not go back. All right. What that says right there first.
One of Richard's.
What it says first, please.
Washington CNN.
Okay, so this is a CNN. This is a major news outlet, man, in America. This is CNN reporting this. Read.
One of Richard Nixon's top advisors and key figure in the Watergate scandal said the war on drugs was created as a political tool to fight blacks and hippies.
Read for me Ephesians again, please. I need you to stay there. Read that article one more time.
Khan out of one Khan.
Ephesians one more time. That's the guts of what we're talking about, y'all. This goddamn witchcraft that was launched against black people, man. This spiritual wickedness in high places, man. There's certain vibration that they wanted to put out there about black people. They wanted all black people to be considered what's spelled out in this article. You got it in Ephesians? Read it to me one more time.
Khan, we in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
You see that right there, man? Nixon, man, and his fellow cabinet members, man, they understood, man, in order to destroy black people, man, after we had had a taste of camaraderie, right? Remember those 60s movements and shit like that, man? He understood that in order, we had to stop that right there. We don't stop that, man, it's going to collapse America. So we have to continue the propaganda against black people. Where National Geographic failed and broke off, Nixon and his cabinet member picked up. And that agenda is still being pushed today in America. Commander General Hunter came out with it several times. This is an article that could never lose any weight right here. You bring this out all the time, man, and black people will be much more informed for it, all right? Read it again for me. Stay where you are, though.
Khan one Khan.
Kodash the bar.
Khan out of one Khan. One Salaki.
Now read from the Nixon campaign.
Khan out of one Khan. The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies. The anti-war left.
Meaning the people that was against war. Go ahead.
And black people.
And who?
And black people.
And who?
And black people.
And who?
And black people.
So this is a president, man. He considered a whole population of his constituents as his enemy. Think about that, man. Think about that. He had two enemies. The people that was against war, and who else?
And black people.
Keep reading.
Khan out of one Khan. And black people. Former Nixon domestic policy chief John Earl Richmond told Harper's writer Dan Boehm for the April cover story published Tuesday, you understand what I'm saying?
You understand what I'm saying, man? Go ahead.
We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war on black.
You said we knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war on black. But by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. Think about that, man. Think about the implications of what he's saying. He understood that if he associated heroin with black people, when white people really, do more drugs, man, by far than black people. By far, white people use more goddamn drugs, all right? He understood that he needed to, in the public's mind, make them believe that black people were responsible for heroin. We don't own not a goddamn shipping yard. Black people don't own a goddamn shipping container, all right? Not one goddamn shipping container out of all the containers that come in all the ports in New York, right? And throughout the earth, man, that come here to America. We don't own none of them shipping containers. But he was successful in making people believe that black people were responsible for heroin, man. And the reason he did that, tell him why he did that, priest. I need you to stay right there. Go ahead.
And then criminalizing both heavily.
So to make it to associate this crime with black people, and then make policy to criminalize it, right? To make policy to actually make it a major offense in America and put a penalty on it that would be a criminal penalty. Keep going.
We could arrest their leaders.
Hold on, we could do what?
Arrest their leaders.
We could do what?
Arrest their leader.
Man, if he did that, man, we could arrest their leaders, man. We could arrest their leaders and do what else?
Raid their homes.
And do what?
Raid their homes.
Go ahead.
Break up their meetings.
Hold on, break up their what?
Break up their meetings.
Go ahead.
And vilify them night after night.
This is the kicker right here. And do what?
And vilify them night after night.
And vilify them night after night. Go ahead.
On the evening news.
Oh, my God, man. Man, you got to understand what that implicates right there. He just told you, man, that Ephesians that we just read is absolutely correct. It's absolutely the agenda of white people to paint a certain picture of black men in the media so they could vilify us, man. Shoot us dead in the goddamn street, lock us up in the penitentiary to the tune of $2 million, man, and do this perpetually, man, unchecked. That's the agenda right there. Go back to the scripture now.
Wakan, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Now, people, they get caught up on when they hear spiritual, right? And, General Muhammad, Commander General Yohana Salaki break it down best. I like to use this metaphor that I learned from a man above me when I asked him, what does it mean to be spiritual, right? Spiritual is, we all on our way to the Pistons game, man. And we all in the spirit of the what, Zarak?
The spirit of the game.
We in the spirit of the game, meaning I might got the jersey on with the face paint. We all go up in that joint, then we going to the damn theater or going to the arena, and everybody got on face paint in the Piston jersey. And they saying what? Pistons. Pistons. Everybody in the spirit of the what, Zarak?
The game.
Right, and likewise, right? Read that one more time.
Wakan. Against spiritual wickedness.
The spiritual wickedness that we just described here in the cabinet of the President of the United States, Nixon. This spiritual wickedness to pick black people in the media so that he have access to their meetings, that he can, raid their homes and vilify them night after night in the media. This agenda, man, wasn't just at the level of the president. It came from them 666 people, the same people that came up with National Geographic, the same people that came up with the war on drugs, the same people that come up with this agenda that we hear voluntarily through the transatlantic migration. This is spiritual wickedness at its height, man. And this is the job of every priest and prophet in the Israelite school of UPK and the Commander General Yohana is to break this shit down, man. Break it down so your family and your friends can understand that the next time they see a brother, man, they need to see the face of Christ. It was so beautiful when I finally looked into the face of my brother and I saw Jesus Christ. You see that? That right there bring tears to your eyes, man. When you can finally look in the face of your brother and you see Christ. All right, with that, I'm going to turn the class over to priests and officers of the Rock for the reading of the security announcements.
We are the ISUPK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocation is the Feast of Purim, which is February 19, 2019. If anyone wants to be a trooper inside the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, I'd like to give a courtesy salute to the teacher, Amajim.
I'd like to give a courtesy salute to the sister. Son, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar al-Taba, Shini Haushah. Yajim Matah, dismissed.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to Rhythm Man blues for this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword with a